I just wanted to hop on today and do a quick live with you. I've done these a few times on Instagram and they've been a big hit. So figured, why not hop on here? Obviously, I don't have nearly as many subscribers on YouTube as I do on Instagram, but I'm hoping you guys can help me out and share this channel with more people that might need to see this content. We're doing a big push on YouTube, long form. I prefer to do long form content. I love doing content like this where we're doing actual stuff at the whiteboard. This isn't scripted, I didn't plan this. I'm just gonna go a little bit more off the cuff, which is my style anyways, and hopefully you guys get some value from this. Again, if you know someone that could get value from this content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff that you're supposed to do on YouTube. It's a new language for me, so I'm getting comfortable with it, as you probably can tell. So, today I want to talk about full body programming strategies. There's a lot of them, a lot of different ways we can skin the cat, a lot of the things that you're seeing in the program reviews. Some of the things that I see don't make sense, and some of the things I do make sense. Some of the things I see are really solid and really rooted in good programming principles. Now, full body training, just for those of you that don't know, is essentially training all of your foundational movement patterns in your session. So your squat or single leg, a hinge pattern, a push, pull, upper body pull, as well as maybe some core work. Technically, we only need three things, a lower body movement and an upper push and pull to classify as full body. But a lot of times we can take it a step further, and there's a lot of ways that we can structure that to have it play out very efficiently. Now, full body training, in my opinion, I see people do it multiple days a week, and they have a structure that relies on doing 4 or 5 sessions per week. I don't do it that way, and here's the reason why. Aerobic conditioning is easily the biggest aspect of a training program. You're probably thinking, no, it's resistance training. Resistance training leads to improved body composition. Having strength leads to more longevity. Aerobic training leads to more longevity for a number of physiological reasons. Having more mitochondria, having less inflammation, being able to improve the function of the heart, specifically things like cardiac output, which is a product of heart rate and stroke volume, ability to improve work capacity, the ability to improve how you recover in the session, between sets, and outside of the session. So there's a lot of adaptations that take place with the aerobic work. I just did 60 minutes of aerobic work. I do about 2 to 3 hours per week. Most of my programs do about 2 hours per week, but it's one of those things you can't overdo. And actually, let me take that back. You can overdo it. If you're doing 6, 7 hours, maybe even sometimes people that are training for endurance events doing 10 plus hours a week of aerobic work, that will certainly eat into strength and power gains as well as hypertrophy. But 2 to 3 hours per week is enough for most people to get great gains with both strength and hypertrophy, but have it improve their recovery, their ability to handle stress. And I'm not talking about just stress from training, I'm talking about stress outside of the gym, which we're all, we all have a level of stress that is just there based on just the world we live in, our lifestyle, so on and so forth. So, full body training, I do it 3 days a week, mainly because I want to be able to do aerobic sessions on the other days. So all my training programs have aerobic conditioning in them, and this is one thing we can do, or actually multiple things we can do with full body training and have it play out very well. So if we just think about those foundational movement patterns, our squat or a single leg, let's say a upper pull, so a row, or a pull up, a press pattern, a hinge. And then we'll call some core work here. A lot of different ways we can go with core work. We have various elements of core work. We have things like anti-extension where we're bracing. We have rotational work. We have side bending, anti-lateral flexion, anti-rotation, resisting rotation. So a lot of different things that we can do here. But these things, these elements, a lot of different ways that we can go with it. So let's just say that we're training for more strength. We want to improve our ability to move big weights. We could essentially go something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sets and reps could depend on the variation that we're doing. Obviously, different variations would allow us to be open to different methods in different sets, reps, and rest intervals. But this is just one strategy. This is a singular exercise. This allows for more nervous system recovery. It allows us to work a method. So something like a squat where we do something like a sub-maximal effort method would be like a multiple rep max, or something like cluster sets would fit there. We can do those here and rest longer and allow for the nervous system to recover more completely between sets. Now, on the other end, let's say your goals are more general. And let's say that you want to throw in some isolation work in here because your goals are more general. And maybe, you know, hypertrophy is more of a thing where body composition, you have an event, Memorial Day, summer's right around the corner. A lot of people are gearing up for that and trying to get into shape. We could do something like this. Okay, so these are pairings or superset. This allows us to be very efficient, allows for more training density. It doesn't allow for the same capacity of loading. However, my next strategies I'm going to show are not going to have the same loading capacity that this will have. So this is a good anterior, posterior, if you will, pairing, okay, where we have a squat or single leg, a row, or pull up, press, hinge, core, and then maybe some isolation, some direct arm work could fit in to there. Now, as far as set reps and rest intervals, I want to make this concise, so we could spend another day. If you guys are interested in learning more about diving into the actual breakdown of the session and getting into set reps and rest intervals, we could do that. Let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. But I wanted to show some strategy. So we have strategy number one, just to refresh, is singular exercise. That allows for more nervous system recovery. It allows us to focus and pinpoint a method and a specific time frame between each. So we're allowed to, again, rest longer, use heavier weights, and tap into different methods. Okay, so pairings would be our second strategy, where we now get a little bit more training density, allows us to have a little bit more efficiency. The session's going to obviously, as you could imagine, be a little bit faster. But from here, we still have a few other ways that we can go. And these are strategies I use in all of my full body programs. I like all of them, to be honest. And on my full body subscription, we use different seasons, different times of year, we lean on different strategies, okay? So as I just mentioned, we had pairings. So let's go now onto giant sets. So you're probably thinking, well, what's the difference? It's essentially the same thing. Well, actually, it's not the same thing, because now we have, we are allowing for more rest. Before we get back to this squat pattern, if we do 60 seconds between all of these, we've rested 3 minutes. Now, it's a complete nervous system rest now. But this allows for even more training density. This allows for more focus on work capacity. And for someone that's training in a home gym, these are great strategies to use because you can do a lot of work in a short period of time. Now, there is some limitations to this. You don't have as much autonomy because the squat pattern, let's say you're doing a heavy squat here, you have some constraints based on these other movements just from a programming perspective as far as sets, reps, and rest intervals. This stuff should align. So if you're doing 5 sets of squat, you're going to want to do 5 sets of the rest of these. So having those movement patterns line up with that main pattern of the day takes a little bit more creativity. So again, not as much autonomy, but this is another strategy that we can use. This feels very different. Psychologically, this feels, albeit you're still resting the same amount, it allows the end user to feel like they're doing more. So I love this for former CrossFitters because they almost feel like it's circuit training when, in essence, it kind of isn't. I'm still having them rest. So if we do 5 by 5 here, and we do 5 by 5 here, and we do 5 by 5 here, we're doing 60, 60, 60. By the time we've gone back, we've rested 3 minutes. So again, it's kind of a way to trick them into doing this. This is a good strategy. Again, home gym, not great for a commercial gym. If you train in a commercial gym, probably not going to be a strategy you want to use because using 3 pieces of equipment, obviously, logistically speaking, is tough to do. All right, so that's our third strategy. So again, to recap, we did singular exercises, most autonomy. We did pairings, a little bit less autonomy, but more training density. We did giant sets, which again is going to kind of change the feel. It's going to be very similar in terms of what happens, just cumulative training effects and even acute training effects, but it does feel very different and very efficient. However, you're not going to get the same level of nervous system recovery as you would if you were just doing singular exercise. Now, the fourth strategy, this is probably my favorite one, to be honest. This one aligns a little bit better for where I'm at with my goals in life. So this is a circuit. Now, most times people hear the word circuit, they think fast-paced, getting a sweat, getting a burn. This isn't that kind of circuit, although it will sort of feel like that because you're going to do 4 exercises in succession. So we're going to do a squat or single leg. We're going to rest 45 seconds to 60 seconds, depending on how heavy we're going with these movements, how many reps in reserve there are. We're going to go with our row or pull-up. Again, same thing. We're going to be resting after each exercise. So once you come back to the beginning, you've essentially rested upwards of 3 minutes. Now, again, the key caveat here is not complete nervous system recovery. However, just from a local perspective, as far as local muscular endurance, you're going to get some recovery built in with these. This is a great strategy for someone that's pressed for time. So if you want to do a 30-minute workout and just cover all your bases, this is the way to go. A lot of people think that 30-minute workouts are witchcraft. Well, I am living proof. I do 30-minute workouts for a lot of my strength sessions, and I'm still getting great results as I get older. I'm 41 years old right now. So this is a strategy I love. It's fast-paced, it's efficient, it allows us to have a little bit more fun, if you will. Guys, having fun with training, if you don't enjoy your training, you're not going to stick with it. So if you're working with clients, I think in my poll yesterday, most of you are athletes that are on this channel. If you don't like your training, you will not stick with it. I am more about what someone can stick with long-term than I am optimal, okay? Trading a little bit of optimal for results is a great way to do things. And this, I would say, does that. However, I have seen personally, and I have about 550 people that are on just my full body program right now, my subscription program. And we see people hitting PRs with their squats, their benches, their presses, even weighted pull-ups, things like that, and even body weight stuff. So a lot of great things happen with this, but more so kind of leaning back on what we talked about with the aerobic system. That's where all the magic happens as far as recovery and getting the most from it. So a full body program where we utilize one of these strategies and we do it for 3 sessions, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, allows us to plug in some aerobic sessions and get a really big bang for the buck. So just to summarize, a lot of different ways to skin the cat. This is what I love about programming, guys, because you can just go so many different directions with it. Creativity comes in. When I do a program review, I look at creativity. Of course, the fundamentals guide what we are looking at. When I look at something, it's either following principles or it isn't. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it isn't. But as you saw, the last handful of reviews I did that were on Train Grow were really, really solid programs. These are strategies that you can use to change it up. Now, let's say, just kind of like for devil's advocate here, you want to structure your training in a way where you're doing different things at different times of year. Maybe during this is what we do in our subscription, we have seasons. So the winter months are more for gaining strength, gaining lean tissue. We have a surplus of calories just because of the holidays alone. So usually that's a time to work on more singular-based exercises, and that's what I will do. Where essentially, we might mix some of these, not to get off on another rant here, but we might mix some of these where we do something like this. 1, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 3C. So we might mix some of those strategies together, which is, again, kind of another whole topic, which I kind of forgot about, but different times of the year, you can focus on different things. So let's say you use this strategy for, let's say 3 months out of the year, and then maybe you go into pairings for 3 months. And then you go into giant sets for 3 months, and then you go into so on and so forth, circuits for 3 months, and you can keep that rotation. So not only do you get something different each time, but you're allowed to work on different qualities of fitness. You're allowed to have more novelty to your training, which again, if you're not having fun with what you're doing, you're not going to stick to it. And number 2, there is a why behind each aspect of these. So if you're gearing up for something, you can use these very strategically to get to where you want to go. So hope all that makes sense, guys. Hope you guys are having a great week. If you want to see me do more lives, I would love to do them. Just let me know in the comments so I know what you guys want. It's definitely makes it a lot easier for me to hop on here and maybe plan something. I probably won't plan anything because I just don't like planning. I like doing shit that's real. And there's so much fucking fake shit on social media that I want to do something real. And hopefully you guys are along for this ride with me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the people that chime in, even the people that don't like what I'm putting out, that have negative things to say. I appreciate you chiming in. Keep chiming in, letting me know what I can do better, letting me know what I can review, as well as letting me know what I can do for live whiteboard programming. And I have a lot of other videos coming that are not just reviews. So we're doing a lot of reviews now. Just again, based on you guys. You guys like the reviews, but I do want to do other things. There's a lot of other videos on my channel that don't have a shit ton of views, but are really, really good videos that will be worth checking out if you're interested in learning more about this stuff. So hope you guys are having a great day. Let me know in the comments if any of this made sense or if you have questions about it, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Awesome, guys. Yeah, hey, Noah, I appreciate that. Should we use clusters or
when should we use wave loading? You can use it at any time, really any time of the year. If you want to, like on the squat pattern here, if you wanted to use wave loading for that on just kind of that singular exercise, you could. And then of course you could use it on other lifts across the week. Let's say on day 1, you had a squat pattern. On day 2, which would be Wednesday, you have a press pattern. And then on day 3, let's say Friday, you have a hinge pattern. You could use cluster sets for all of those if you wanted to. And yes, I'll definitely do more lives. Michael, I appreciate it. All right, guys, I appreciate you chiming in today. And like I said, if you guys think of anything else that you'd like to see me cover on the whiteboard, I'm happy to do so. Just let me know in the comments.